Welcome to the construction layout training video. Information about the construction layout can be found in section 6.1 of the Bridge Builder Manual. The basic steps during the construction layout process are going to be establishing a center line with new or existing survey points. And remember, this can take a very long time or a very short time, depending on the status of the previous survey points. The next step will be stake the foundation and anchor points along the center line. Then we'll want to stake additional construction benchmarks along the center line. Then we'll want to stake and mark out our abutments square to the center line. Materials for this process are just going to be marking chalk, spray paint, and wood stakes. And the recommended tools will be a hammer and mallet for pounding stakes, the 100-meter measuring tape, level, plumb bob, tape measure, string line, a large square, machete for clearing brush, and potentially an auto level if you need to shoot new survey points. During this process, you should be wearing gloves, safety vest, closed-toed shoes, and a hard hat. After establishing our center line and pulling a string from either side, we can then use a plumb bob to actually mark and chalk, then stake our benchmark points along the center line for the bridge. After we have our center line established, we're then going to set up our abutments, starting with the foundation, square to the center line. The manual teaches a 3-4-5 triangle method. However, it is also possible to use a large construction square, pull a string tight if you have enough people, and mark out the center line this way, as shown in the video above.
Okay, here we have our construction layout for the foundation, and the way this works is first we use the bridge center line to put a center line on the ground, and then we measure from known points and from the other side to figure out where the center of the tower is. From there, we measure forward to the front of the foundation and use the square to shoot a line left and right where the front of the foundation is going to be. And then we do the same thing for the rear of the foundation, adding 10 extra centimeters in practice to account for variations in the sizes and the edges of the rocks, and use the square again to measure straight out to either side. And then we measure the width of the foundation from the center line along the square lines that we just shot to get the point along that line where the edge of the foundation is going to be, plus another 5 centimeters to account for variations in the sizes and the shapes of the rocks. Use those 2 points to shoot a line where the edge of the foundation is going to be on the side. Putting stakes at the edges of the lines outside the foundation square, because if we put the stakes right in the corner, as soon as we started excavating, we'd knock the stakes out and we wouldn't have anything to reference from. But when the stakes are back a little bit from the foundation, you can continue to use those as a reference even when you dig away the chalk line that we're using as a starting point. What was the one more thing? Right, and so that's why we have our 8 stakes. The most important ones are the ones that mark the center line, since those are the foundation, like the basis for where we're measuring everything from, and the 2 marking the front of the foundation, because once we start to construct, we're going to lose our mark for where the center of the tower is, but we'll still have the 2 stakes marking the front of the foundation that we can use to measure everything. Moving forward, and now we're ready to start digging.
Okay, marking the ramp walls on the other side. We're leaving rocks in the middle, even though we're excavating the entire width of these ramp walls. because we're making steps. And once we excavate the sides, we'll pull the rocks in and then excavate the middle. And then we'll pour chalk along this line, giving a 10 centimeter leeway on either side of the tier, because that's what we have for the foundation below the first tier. So now we are pulling a line from the center of the walkway to the center line, and then using the plumb bob to find the center so we can place the reinforcing cage for the anchor. In summary, the construction layout process doesn't end with setting up your foundation and anchor and ramp walls square to the center line. It should be a continuous process throughout the build in which you're double checking dimensions from hard points such as a constructed foundation, tiers, ramp walls, and walkway, etc. The quality control process for the construction layout can be seen in the form here. Remember to take as-built dimensions so that we can go back and double check at the end of the process that everything was done correctly. Once again, thank you for watching, and please refer to the Bridge Builder Manual or Bridge EDU for more information.